high turnout. Like, this is obviously in contravention of fire safety regulation here. Like, you seem okay with it though. This is an enthusiastic looking crowd. I'm getting a lot of happy energy, and that bodes extremely well. Right, okay, this is the Bright Club Rebirth that you are witnessing right here, and I'm extremely excited about it. I'm sensing energy and tension in the room, and part of that is because, like, I've just been introduced to the stage, and I'm obviously, like, 2/3 of a human, and I just need to sort of explain myself. I was born 2 weeks premature, which you'd think would give me, like, a 2-week head start on growing. But actually, set me well behind. Like, I've never really caught up. And in a way I'm lucky, because if I was born, you know, a couple of thousand years ago, or even just a couple of hundred years ago, they'd have left me on the side of a mountain to die. But that's a weird laugh point. That's a strange omen for the evening. But it's a practice that was euphemistically known as, like, postnatal exposure, but I mean, leaving the helpless out to die is also kind of known as government party policy. Test a joke, politics, safe. Great, but I don't like to think of myself as lucky for not being born in the past. I like to think of myself as unlucky for not being born in the future. Because if I was born in the future, they'd have just put me in a magic tube until I was, like, full-sized and beautiful, and then they'd have released me into a world free of poverty, war, and violence, and full of wonder. Okay, there's quite a lot of cynicism in the room, I'm sensing. Okay, do you really think that we've peaked as a civilization and it's all downhill? Because, I mean, it's mostly scientists in the room. It's worrying if you think that. Genuinely, show of hands, like, who thinks that things are downhill from here? Alright, given that this is the start of a gig, like, that's a worrying sign. Okay, we'll be fair. Like, who thinks that actually things are going to get better? That you're all going to discover wonderful things, and it's going to be, you see, now that's encouraging because you're all, like, quite enthusiastic about that. Like, are we democracy fans here?
Oh yeah.
Right. Okay. First of all, let me like lay some ground rules. Like me, like the benign dictator of the night. I will tolerate some levels of democracy, but not too much. And more specifically, like when you're gonna heckle me, like all of your fury and anger, direct it at me, or your love and enthusiasm. Also direct that at everyone. So like, don't shout at the axe. They're doing a great work. Me, on the other hand, I have this suit, which is actually a suit of heckle armor, so your insults will like bounce off me, and your sort of humorous suggestions I will absorb and probably incompetently try and work into what I'm doing. So we'll work through that now. Okay, back to democracy. Like, can we have a show of hands, actually? Again, I'm a democracy enthusiast, I can't help constantly polling people whenever I have a microphone, but can I have a show of hands for everyone who thinks that democracy is the best way to resolve any kind of philosophical question? Everyone who thinks that democracy is the best way to resolve those kind of questions. You see, you've been outvoted, right? And being outvoted on whether you think democracy is how we solve problems puts you philosophically in quite a tricky position. It's not really tenable anymore to have that point of view. But I really...
I'm just unique.
Yeah, well... unique and unpopular.
All the geniuses have been like that, so I'm okay.
Yeah, I'm also a lot of the fools. I say that. Yeah, I say that as the only person on stage. But like I wish I was more into politics, like I'm into democracy, because I mean I'm kind of disenchanted with politics. Like I know there's nothing sort of, it's quite a fashionable thing to say, and I don't think it's that great to say it, but I've always felt that like being into politics is like being in a very busy pub. Like it's a lot easier to keep your seat if you don't stand up for anything. You see, more agreement than laughter there. Works quite well as a piece of politics, quite badly as a piece of humour. The absolute inverse of the cabinet. Right, now we've got some really genuinely funny acts. I'm feeling a little bit overwhelmed tonight because all the acts are better qualified than me, they're probably more intelligent than me, they've got lots to say, and it's going to be, I'm really interested and excited. Like, I'm kind of an intruder here, I'm not a scientist, right? Okay, like, we're going to go down a more pantomime sort of route from now on. I actually did my undergraduate degree in classical civilization. Oh, Tonzeus, Kalmanos, Kalos, Halmeo. Right. Yeah, now you don't understand. How does it feel? Yeah, natural Greek. Okay. But I spent a lot of time on archaeological digs, which is like our pet science in history. Like we've trained archaeologists. They understand about soil acidity and all those very important things, but they do our bidding, which it's important. That's how we maintain some kind of false credibility. And you know archaeology is a proper science because you work very, very hard at it. The people that do it are underappreciated, and there are very few actual results you can point to at the end of a single day of work. If you've ever been to a music festival, you almost know just what it's like to be on an archaeological dig. Anyone been to a music festival here? Yeah, right. There's a lot of camping, there's quite a lot of drinking, except instead of music and fun, okay, genuinely one of the strangest things that's ever happened to me. I mean, that's outstaged me so powerfully. Okay, any other mammals that want to get on stage, do it during my bit, not during the acts. It's just fantastic. Okay. Right. I mean, I know this has amused me more than anyone else. But instead of seeing lots of bands and lots of music and sort of having a fun time with your friends at a music festival, in archaeology you just sit around in a muddy field and dig holes, which is actually quite a lot of fun. Now I did archaeology in Cornwall, and it was doing that I really kind of found my passion for cider. Less so for archaeology itself, but there was one piece of proper the kind of field research that, you know, the sort of secrets, the sort of shortcuts that you only get told when you're right there doing it, sort of right on the coal face. The archaeological equivalent of that is how to tell whether something is a small piece of rock or a priceless piece of pottery. Because to the untrained eye, they look exactly the same, and in fact to the trained eye they look exactly the same, and they're actually exactly the same. There's only one way you can tell the difference, whether you've dug up a tiny piece of slate or a tiny piece of Iron Age pottery, and that's by licking it. Now, this happens occasionally in the mornings during an archaeological dig. Far more often in the afternoons. We used to take very long lunches with quite a lot of cider. We were less like a group of skilled postgraduate researchers and more just drunks licking rocks in the evenings. Right, so speaking of drunks licking rocks, I'm going to bring up your first act. Right, I hope you're all, we're going to need some collaborative work here. This is, good science, collaborative. I'm obviously going to take first author on this MCing piece, but the actual work is going to be done by you guys. Firstly, by laughing, giving lots of energy and love to the acts. They're all really good. They've put in lots of effort and fun. It's going to be I'm excited. Right, but I'm also going to need some specialists. So, you sir, what is your name? Rob. Okay, Rob. I'm going to need you just to have faith in me. That's your only job. Okay, you didn't have to sigh quite so hard at the very concept. Okay, and you, what is your name? Nikki. Okay, Nikki, you are my professional applauder. Alright, you've got good enthusiasm. That's a very promising sign. And I'm going to dash across to our lone genius here. Right, you're going to be the stamper of feet and the whooper, because I feel like you've got that in you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Right, so what's going to happen first? Rob is going to have faith in me. Nikki is going to start applauding. You are going to start whooping and stamping your feet. Then everyone else is going to follow their leads. Rob, it doesn't matter if you follow his lead. Have faith in the act, not me. But then, yeah, right, are we ready for a practice run? It's going to start with your faith. Okay. And then it's going to go to Nikki applauding, whooping, the whole room, and then I'm going to use power to just stop you. Okay? Right? Start us off.